know that all of these extra, the Labour Party can avoid these cuts simply through generating more growth, almost immediately?
Well, I think that is implausible. I mean, as you implied, it is unrealistic to imagine that either party is going to increase NHS spending, whether that's on junior doctors' pay or repairing crumbling hospitals or keeping up with technological progress at the rate that they've set out in their spending plans. So we know that we will end up spending considerably more money on the NHS in the next Parliament, even just to stand still, let alone to improve things, compared to what either party is planning. So the question is, well, will that money be found through growth? Let's hope so. And certainly the particular issues that Jonathan Ashworth identified about how you might generate growth, planning, reform, increased investment, most people would agree about that. But it's difficult, it takes time, and you do need to have a plan to what you're going to do in the meantime. And if growth, for whatever reason, whether because your plans run into the sand or because of geopolitical events or whatever, doesn't deliver. So the fact that Labour in particular, the Tories as well, of course, but Labour in particular, have promised not to put up the major rates of tax does seem, frankly, like boxing themselves in a way which could prove to be very painful for both for them and the country as a whole over time.
Goodness me, politicians not being honest. What's next? Is the Pope a Catholic? But I suppose I want to show you what Rishi Sunak had to say defending his plans. He says that actually a lot of savings can be found. Let's have a listen.
A fully costed manifesto which can deliver tax cuts for people at every stage in their lives, and that is largely funded by making sure that we can find some savings in the growth of the welfare budget.
Now, it's true that the welfare budget has been growing by quite a large degree especially since COVID. Rishi Sunak suggests that billions in savings can be found by simply reducing that growth rate. Is that true?
Well, remember that, funnily enough, the figure of £12 billion that the government, that Rishi Sunak claims is fully costed, which frankly is simply a lie. There are no such plans, was precisely the same number that actually David Cameron promised us back 7 or 8 years ago. And it simply wasn't delivered because of a combination of bad policy and poor implementation of that policy. In fact, the result of the Conservatives' attempts to cut the disability benefits budget, and of course there have been a number of attempts by the Conservatives to cut have been actually to increase that budget. So I wouldn't place much faith in that. I think it is reasonable to say that Labour, if they win, will need to do something to contain the growth in the budget on disability benefits. And they've made some, what there is in their manifesto is actually along the right lines, but it's painfully short of detail and indeed of the resources necessary that you need in terms of mental health support, work, career advice, all the sort of things that we know might over time work. And again, as you've said quite correctly, these things do not deliver overnight.
So in a word, if the Labour Party or indeed the Conservative Party are going to win, more taxes?
I think so, yes.
Well, Jonathan Portas, thank you for that sunny and optimistic assessment.